to us at askthescientitstcallapril25.com. And we take a look at those. You can only imagine how many emails that we get, but we read each and every one of those to sort through those and find the common denominator of what's out there in the field so we can address that. I'm going to get right into the call. We've got 3 or 4 questions that we're going to go over. We like to be about 15, 20 minutes on these calls. Really quick, powerful. And with that being said, I'm going to invite our Director of Research Sciences, Dr. Joshua Plant. Is he on the phone? I am, Jerem. Thanks for having me. You bet. And Josh, it's been a pleasure to work with you over the last 8-9 months as you've joined the Zija team, and we're beginning to travel quite a bit and sharing the message with those throughout North America. And it's been an honor to get to know you as a friend and as a work colleague. For those that are listening for the first, appreciate that. For those that are listening for the first time, I just want to give you a little bit of history on Dr. Plank. He's very humble. As you meet him, his credentials are second to none. He's done a very good job in his life in serving people, and on top of that, receiving an education that will change the life of many. He graduated from Harvard Medical School with a PhD in biomedical sciences, and we're very fortunate to have him a part of our team. He's just taking it to the next step as we are growing rapidly and experiencing that first phase of momentum. We need those credentials to just validate that much more what we are. For those that, again, are new to the call, our competitive edge, our competitive advantage is that we are the Moringa company. And Josh has a passion for botanicals and specifically the Moringa oleifera plant, so it's a privilege to have him with us. So Josh, let's get right into the call. I've got a few questions that I want to ask you that have come in from the field. And the first is this, on a lot of products that people buy, supplementation products, there's some type of proprietary blend or proprietary mix, and it can be called a variety of different things. But I'd like you to explain from a researcher's perspective, from a doctor's perspective, on what that means. What is a proprietary blend? What is a proprietary mix? And the purpose of having that on our boxes as people are reading the ingredients that are in the products.
Yeah, this is actually a really good question, Jeremy. This is something that we get a lot. Proprietary blend is something that we have used here at Zija to kind of protect ourselves, right? The moringa that we've used, we use the whole tree. We use a blend of the leaves, the fruit, seed cake, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have researched, spent several years researching the moringa tree to kind of give what we believe the most nutritious blend of the moringa tree possible. Likewise, the moringa plant is a horrible tasting botanical, and so we have spent likewise significant money, significant time in researching this to make this an excellent tasting beverage. And so what we want to do is we really want to protect ourselves here at Zija. In those years of work that we have done, and so we have created a proprietary blend, and this in essence allows us to put those years of research into a proprietary blend that we don't have to reveal the exact amount, the exact order, you will, of which those ingredients are in. And that protects people from copying or attempting to copy our products. And this makes sure that Zija is always at the forefront of leading in the moringa oleifera and the nutrition by making sure that no one else can even come close to attempting to copy our products.
Okay, so Josh, is it common out there? Is it something that people should be concerned about when they look on there and they see Zija proprietary mix?
Oh, not at all. This is, especially for companies coming out, especially Zija size, this is something that they really do to protect themselves. You see this across the board of different supplements, of different food ingredients. For example, the Coke has natural flavors. That is their proprietary blend, so that they don't have to reveal what their recipe is. Kentucky Fried Chicken, 26 seasons and spices is their proprietary blend. And likewise, Zija's proprietary blend is different parts of the moringa tree, specific flavorings to allow this moringa tree to taste beneficial. And our proprietary blend, in contrast to a lot of the food companies, is not just flavor, but it's also a nutritional proprietary blend, so that we are able to take the whole tree, complement the nutrition beautifully, deliver the most nutritious products possible.
Okay, so that's perfect. That actually leads me into the next question, and that is, we have a lot of different products, and a lot of different products, and within that we have a lot of different ingredients that go into those products that set us apart. I mean, there's no question that as you take the tea, the premium tea, that you're going to have a moving experience, right? It's doing its job. That is correct. Feel that as they're taking that, you take the XM Plus, and you definitely feel a burst of energy. You feel good. You feel healthy, and most importantly, you don't crash. There's not, you have a lot of energy beverages where people take that, they're good for 3 or 4 hours, and all of a sudden they're getting headaches and they crash, and they take another to boost them back up, therefore creating some type of addiction to the energy drinks. With our ingredients, this has been a common question. Where do we get the ingredients that go into our product line?
Yeah, I guess first of all, I'll start to answer this question by saying when we are looking at creating new products, the first thing that we always want to do is we always want to make sure that it complements Moringa. Jeremy, you mentioned this before, we are the Moringa company. And so when we find different ingredients to put into products to give you these different effects of, the tea, the XM Plus, the XMAM, we really hone in to find the products that complement Moringa beautifully. The last thing we want to do is adulterate the nutritional properties of Moringa. And so after we have identified the ingredients we believe are excellent complements to Moringa, we then vet several sources of that ingredient to find the ones that have the purest quality, have the highest standards in manufacturing their raw ingredients, and then we bring them in to our manufacturing site, where we then scrutinize them even further. We test them for the active ingredients, for the properties of which they're supposed to have, and after we go through several stages of vetting these ingredients to make sure that they are of the highest quality, we then introduce them into our Moringa into our different products.
So I can't help but think about, our founder, Ken Brailsford, and just being a man of principle. I mean, when he saw the documentary of the Moringa affair, he was moved by it. There was something about that botanical that he was drawn to. But it didn't just stop there, right? He went out and he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars researching not only Moringa oleifera, but the most nutrient-dense part of the Moringa oleifera, or where that is grown, therefore establishing the principle that he's not going to satisfy, and he's not going to be satisfied with anything less than the best. And
exactly.
Go ahead,
this is exactly what drew me to Zeta, was Ken's commitment to the product. Right? That we understand that when Ken understood the power of this Moringa plant, that he was going to do everything that he could to put the properties of that plant. That by no stretch of the imagination would he adulterate the Moringa plant in the sake of margin. He understands that by having a business built on the foundation of a great product and a great business plan, that there is no reason for him to compromise that at all.
That's great, and I love it because I see that each and every day as we're constantly staying on the cutting edge of, new product development. I mean, you've been key in that, for example, with the new XMAM, making sure that we've got a product that not only gives somebody a feeling immediately, because that's definitely part of taking products, but giving them something that's going to be long-term, changing their behavior long-term. The AM being a perfect example of weight loss versus fat loss, and really getting to the root of the problem, therefore allowing people to live life unlimited. And, last week we talked a lot about caffeine. That's a topic that some people get uncomfortable about, but here at Vija, we're very confident in talking about that, because we know that that's essential of being a part of our product line. And when people are properly, and that's the key, properly educated and looking at the source of what their education is, they can listen to their neighbor, and their neighbor's going to have an opinion about one of the ingredients that are in the product, but don't let that stop you from sharing the product. Get the answers, and not only that, get the right answers. And again, like I said, that's what this call is all about, is addressing some of those questions that distributors and customers have about our products. The natural pure cane sugar, the caffeine, the rhodiola rosea. I mean, where do these ingredients come from, and how do we use them? And then I would like to address this morning would be the ephedra nevadensis plant. A lot of people get scared when they hear the word ephedra, and there's all kinds of examples that we could use that you say one word and it means something totally different. And so but you can draw a correlation between the two. So, Josh, I would like you to address exactly what ephedra nevadensis plant is and how does this or otherwise known as desert tea, right? And how is this
exactly
to our product line?
Yes, and so the ephedra nevadensis, and I'll refer to it here from here on out as desert tea. Unfortunately, desert tea, the scientific name of this, has the word ephedra in it. And a lot of people equate that to the plant or the compound that was banned 10 years ago or so. And what I really want to stress here is that by no stretch of the imagination are these two plants the same. The plant that was banned about 10 years ago was called Malhung, Mahung. And that plant contained, the active ingredient in that plant was called ephedra alkaloids. And then the media, short change of common language, we had abbreviated it to ephedra. This plant is in no way related to that Malhung plant. It just happens to have that name of that active ingredient called ephedra in it. So a lot of times when people will see this ephedra nevadensis, they actually think it has that ephedra in it, and that is not the case. It just happens to be the scientific name that correlates, unfortunately, with that ingredient that was banned 10 years ago. So it is completely safe to take. And the reason that we put this in, and we understand that this would require maybe some education to our people because of that name, but we found that the desert tea is such an effective plant in giving us energy, because what this does is it contains some tannins, so to speak, that help remove a lot of the excess moisture built up in our airway. And what this does, because of the pollution that we live in, this buildup is continuously to the point where our bodies are struggling for a breath of fresh air, so to speak. And we don't even really realize this. And so by removing a lot of that moisture in that gunk, we are able to get an increase of energy just by getting an increase in oxygen into our body. And I think that's why we've seen such tremendous results of people taking Hexam Plus as athletes. They're able to get better oxygen performance, so to speak. And this is just one of the ways that we look at providing, Hexam Plus giving energy. And we try to do this the natural way, right? The body needs oxygen, and when we give it, we find the body has so much more energy. And so it's such a beautiful ingredient that we have in the XM Plus.
I love how you answered that. I can understand, and we at corporate understand that if it's a new prospect or someone that you're sharing the Visa product line with, when they read the back of the XM Plus, for example, and they see that, that could be alarming. But more importantly, what we have to do is get to the root of the problem, and that is deepening the belief of our existing distributorship. So when a question like that is asked, that you can look those people in their eyes with conviction and give them accurate information on exactly what the ephedra nevadensis plant is, or the desert tea. And the best way to look and plan for the future is look at historic performance. And you look at Ken Brosford historically and the success that man has had in this industry, both from a product perspective and also a business opportunity perspective. And the man is a man of principle. And I would personally have a hard time being a part of something that would be out there promoting something that is inaccurate, and it would definitely be looked at from a regulatory perspective if there was a problem with this. And we haven't had any of those problems. Let's cross our fingers, and we'll continue to keep ourselves clean and make sure that we're compliant as far as that goes. But, Dr. Plant is not going to put education that he has gone through and the years of sacrifice that him and his wife have done on an ingredient that could throw that all out the door. And that, again, comes back to the principle and the principles that Vija is operated by. So please educate yourself with ingredients like that. If you get more questions, then email those in and we can address those. And Josh, I want to actually ask the fourth question here. We get a lot of attention here at Vija, both from a product perspective and a business perspective. And we have to be extremely careful with how how we're answering these questions and the things that we're saying in our PBRs and on phone calls and conference calls and in front of the room. And, you know, because we have such a phenomenal product, I mean, we built a $100 million plus company on product users, which is amazing. That should tell each and every one of you listening on this call how amazing the opportunity really is. But, you know, we get a lot of questions, especially at your level, being a doctor and certain conditions and sicknesses. What is the best way to address these questions when a distributor is asked and even yourself is asked?
Well, the way I answer them is I really understand that this company is the livelihood for thousands of people. And the last thing I would want to do is put that at risk for these people by, in essence, overstepping my bounds as a corporate scientist. And so a lot of these questions should be asked to their doctors. You know, how would this help me? What can I take it with these things? With these drugs? And we have to remember that this is ultimately a supplement. We are not replacing anything that a doctor prescribes to them. We are looking at this as something that they can add to their daily lives to increase their nutrition. And with that, you know, we do not intend to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And we are here to promote nutrition. And what we see is when people have nutrition in their lives, great things happen. And for people out in the field to witness these and to share their testimonials is extremely remarkable. And that is ultimately one of the reasons why I joined Zija, was to hear these testimonials and to hear the power that Moringa has in their lives. And so, I'm usually at a crossroads of how do I answer this, because I know the power of this plan. But I have to remember that this is also the livelihood for a lot of people, and I don't want to put that at risk. And so the powers of personal testimonials is a great thing.
That's a great answer. Gosh, Dr. Plant, I really appreciate that because, you know, it's amazing. As I love my job. I love my job because I get to be out in the field and I get to hear those testimonies. I get to hear how the product is changing hundreds and even thousands of lives. And a lot of times here at corporate, you know, we don't see that. A lot of the employees here, they don't see how amazing that really is because they're not out there in the field hearing that. And I love how you ended that. You know, the testimonials. There's a reason why we have those, and we're creating some different tools and things like that to give exposure to all of the field on different testimonials that are happening throughout the organization. And so when you have a specific condition or someone that has a condition or a sickness or something that you can tailor one of the testimonials that has been approved by us, that we know is compliant so we don't have problems with regulatory bodies, that can be shared and that can give those people that you're sharing the product with hope that it will change their lives. And so, Dr. Plant, we appreciate everything that you do for Zija International and also the distributors. We love you. You're great. You've been a great addition, and so thank you for all your hard work and sacrifice in making us a better company.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Likewise, you know, it's a pleasure to go out on the road with you, and we have a lot of fun together. And you know, you've become a great friend. So thank you, and I enjoy meeting everyone out there on the field. Thank you very much.
So with that being said, folks, that will conclude today's Ask the Scientist call. Hopefully we gave you some golden nuggets on building your business and making sure that you've got the right answers. And I just want to end with this. You know, we hear a lot of times that knowledge is power, and we take it a step further, and you know, applied knowledge is power. And I want to take it one step further and say this: that the right knowledge applied is power. And making sure that you have the correct and accurate answers to your questions and applying that in the way that you're sharing the message, and that will give you power and influence in building your business. So with that being said, thank you for joining the call. If you want to refer back to this call, we're trying to get these uploaded as quickly as we can in the back office. So if there was someone that missed this that you know would benefit from it, you can direct them there and share it there. And with that being said, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next week on Ask the Scientist Call. The lines are now open.